Okay, let's try a quick example to apply the meaning of slope to a real situation. And these are situations of things that do come about in the field of economics. And this one shows a graph that shows the number of farm workers in the United States over the period of 50 years, from 1950 to 2000. And as you can see along the horizontal axis, we indicate the years. So 1950 would be here, 2000 would be here, a total of 50 years, and the number of farm workers in millions. All right, well, this one actually isn't too bad in terms of actually figuring out what our slope is, right? Because if we call this guy point 1 up here near 1950, and we'll call 2000 point number 2, right? We can apply our slope formula to get that value very easily, which we'll do right here. We would be taking y2 minus y1, change in y values, divided by x2 minus x1, which is the change in x values. So we might write, what are our two y values? Well, we're going to take point number 2, that's a 3, minus point number 1's y value, that's a 10. And subtract point number 2's x value, that's 2000, minus point number 1's x value, which is the year 1950. Well, we've already established that we know that in the denominator of this fraction, we're going to get 50. How about in that numerator? Well, it looks like we're going to get negative 7. 3 minus 10 would be negative 7. So our slope here is negative 7 over 50. Now, if it helps, you can think of this in terms of a decimal. And it's easy to convert into a decimal because all decimals are numbers over 10 or 100 or 1,000. And the denominator of 100 is found by multiplying the denominator by 2. So if we multiply the numerator by 2, right, our slope could actually be set as negative 14 hundredths, or we would write that as a decimal as negative 0.14, right? So this is our slope. All right, now the real question was write a sentence to express the meaning of this slope, which is an interesting question. Let's see if we can get a decent answer about this one. Okay, so let me put my span here, and what should we say? Well, think about how you might express that for a moment. And remember, if we have the slope representing the rate of change in the y values over the rate of change in the x values, it looks like this slope gives the, I should capitalize here, well, let's use proper capitalization. Might as well use proper English since I'm a teacher here. This slope gives the rate of change in the number of workers, the number of farm workers per year from 1950 to 2000, which makes sense if you think about what we're actually trying to say right here. This represents a rate of change, and that rate is we lose 14. Let's see, that's 14%. Perhaps we should say that, right? If it's is negative 7 out of 50 farm workers per year, right? So we're looking at a rate, and we're going to give this rate in terms of it being a rate of change of farm workers per year from 1950 to 2000.